Hey y'all, Luke from Truce Designs here. Just wanted to give you guys a tour of the shop since it's pretty clean. I spent last week just cleaning things, so might as well show it while it's somewhat clean. This is like a display booth that I made for showing bags. The next time it'll be used is at the Unique Markets in December here in Portland. So it lights up and all the bags that'll be available will be displayed here. So if you're in town in December, come to that. And here's a big pile of sales. So not very well organized, this in particular, but this is kind of all the stock material. So here's an old kite, some Mylar Kevlar sails at the bottom of the pile, some Dacron sails, and various versions of those. And here's what's left of the America's Cup sail. So not very much, it's mostly chopped up. But yeah, lots of various sails and stuff in there. And then coming back towards the back of the basement here, we have this wall of like freaks and prototypes in the best way, of course. Just all the kind of ideas that I made into bags and just kind of wanted to hang on to look at in the future, or stuff that I just haven't chopped up for parts yet. Over here is some fabric storage, and this is where I dry fabric. It gets air shooting down on it from a vent. So when I take sailcloth or tent fabric or whatever, I wash it with soap down the hall, bring it back here, let it dry out. Some fabric storage, a bunch of just different stuff from factories. And so these are pretty much all short rolls, seconds, B grade, material that's just not good enough for a big outdoor company to cut around, because they have really long cutting tables with computers and all that stuff. I just cut everything by hand, so I can cut around any imperfections, but usually it's not going to affect the performance of the material, and I kind of think the imperfections are a little fun and make it more interesting. Coming over here, we've got a hot knife cutting station. This is a pneumatic hot knife that I control with a foot pedal. And when I don't want to plug that in and let it heat up, I just have this little handheld guy. And I plug in this fan that pulls the fumes into this carbon filter so that I'm not breathing in all that nasty stuff. And webbing rolls hanging here so that I can easily pull on them. Here's a cutting table. So, grab some sailcloth, wash it, let it dry, and while it's drying, I cut the liner out. Underneath here, I also have a bunch of different stuff like Kevlar, Dyneema, strap fabric, just a bunch of different liner colors and short rolls again. So like coming from the dry suit factory, for instance, here's a chunk. So to make a dry suit, you want as few seams as possible because everything has to be seam taped. So I'll get this from some dry suit factories, and this is kind of the panel sizes that you have to work around. Obviously, I can't make the whole bag out of only recycled materials, so I do get some, ripstop nylon, US made, and some, kind of Cordura type fabric for straps and stuff. So I've got this cutting tool here, which is a little rotary tool, but mostly I just cut by hand with these shears. So I'll grab a pattern from over here. I'll walk over there. I'll grab the pattern set from over here. So here's the medium drop liner. I try to have them all organized by color. It's not always possible. Here's a small, here's one of the duffels, here's the Daypack, here's the large size drop liner. So all the pattern pieces are there. I'll grab it, slap it on the table, and cut everything out. If we want any heat press reflective tape, this is where that happens. So this is a heat press table. So this goes over it. It's cooling down right now, but anyway, you just grab this and clamp it shut and let it sit for 10 seconds or whatever, and I pull it out and I put this big heavy piece of metal on top of it. I'll probably clip the mic, but yeah, that cools it down. Coming over here, once I have all the pieces in a bin, I'll bring them over here where I have all the hardware that I need to add to the bin to complete the bag. So I got buckles, stuff like these fidlocks, some Cobra buckles. These are kind of the fanciest of the buckles, but lots of other just little pieces of hardware that are needed for all the bags. And yeah, so some machines. This is the hot air seam taping machine. It's a Queenlight, made in Japan, I think back in like 92 or 93 or something like that. So I use that for all the seam sealed liners on the backpacks and duffels. Over here, got my walking foot machine. It's a LU2210N, so this is good for stuff with heavier layers, anything that's a little stretchy, because the walking foot does really well with that too. And over here's a bar tacker. If you don't know what a bar tacker does, this is a LK1850. It's very loud, and sometimes it doesn't cut thread, which is annoying, but basically anytime you see like a climbing harness or a dog collar or the ends of a strap on a backpack, it's been bar tacked. So it just zigzags back and forth and straight stitches to really lock something in. And then over here is, here's a Daypack that I've got in the works. So I just have everything ready, made already to just final assembly, and it's in this bin. And this is the main machine that I use probably all the time. It's a DLN 9010A, and it's got neo positioning. It's a servo drive, which is really nice, and heel lift. So you push your heel down and it lifts up the foot. And if you do it at the end of a seam, it cuts the thread. It's programmable. It's got this computer for automatic back tacking and all that kind of junk. Here's my binding machine. This is an old Singer 153W103 that I had re-enameled. So you can kind of tell a machine's age by its color. But in this case, I had it refinished by a local guy here. And I have a binding attachment on it. It's pretty much all I use this machine for is for binding. I like the cylinder bed binder because for doing small stuff like a DOP kit or something you want to be able to get on the inside of, I find the cylinder bed really handy. Most folks, you'll see binding attachments on flatbed machines, and that works great for bigger stuff or flatter stuff, but for when you're really trying to go around, like a chalk bag for instance, or a winch cover, it just really makes sense to have it on a cylinder bed or a post bed so you can get into it. So that's that, and over here we've got old Union Special serger. This is a 2-needle, 4-thread serger that I just use for pocket liners, and so anything to do with the ripstop nylon works really well on this machine. Oh, and I forgot to show you one thing about this seam taper. It's different because the speed control is not with your foot. The speed control is on this dial. It's got a roller heater feature, and when you pull on this, it changes from cylinder bed to post bed. You can tell I've used this silicone wheel a lot more than the cylinder bed one, and these do need to be replaced every once in a while, and they're pretty not cheap. Here's some organization for parts. So I've got it split up by small, medium, and large and different parts, and I just kind of pick and choose things that I need for whatever bag I'm making. Here's Hank's bed. Here's Hank. It's imperative to give him a little pet anytime you come by. Sometimes he'll just come over to me while I'm sewing and demand the pets, but sometimes it's good to get a preemptive pet going on. So yeah, once I finish a bag, I'll bring it back over here to put foam in it, straps, all that kind of stuff. And then I'll come over here to the computer, print a shipping label, and sometimes take a picture of it beforehand, which this backdrop comes in really handy for. And over here in the corner, I have a compressor that powers the hot air seam taper and the walking foot machine. Hopefully it doesn't kick on right now because it is a little bit loud. Yeah, finally this is just kind of my computer station, and I just want to show you guys, this is a new prototype that I've been using for the last few months. It's kind of like backpack / haul bag with the zipper top opening and some interior organization in there for a laptop and all pockets, as well as some exterior pockets. And this one features the same straps as on the 20-liter single layer, so they can come on and off, although this is an old prototype that I'm just using. And you can slide this onto rolling luggage here. There's a zipper down below in this pocket here that you can undo and then stick your luggage handle up through here. So pretty modular, removable straps, and just like a haul bag, but with a little more organization that's still comfortable. So that's what I've been using for the last couple months, and probably launch it at some point here. Yeah, that's pretty much the shop tour. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you want to see anything in particular, any details about anything or any other kind of stuff you'd like to see on the channel. Thanks.